into a game ever again.
Why?
Because I checked that has the address I work at and my home address and my phone number.
Okay.
So please do not tell people to look me up on ever again.
Okay.
Oh, that is mad funny.
All right.
I beg of you.
This is a great segue because I started recording 30 seconds ago.
Oh, well,
Anyway.
that stands.
Yeah, we'll see. If I'm feeling silly later, you know. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Jaxon. I also go by Baboon. I'm here with Caden.
I don't, yeah.
He's Green Little Duck. And then, Rob. He's the white guy. So anyway, yeah, this is episode...
that's all of us.
Yeah. This is episode 1. There's only 3 of us. In the future, we'll probably have some guest friends of ours.
I actually heard we had PewDiePie lined up.
Yeah. He's probably like 5th spot because we got some bigger hitters.
Yep. We're gonna be actually talking to him.
Barack Obama.
No, it's not next week. It's when the clocks roll around and glitch in like a million years because it was meant to happen last year, so we actually have to wait. Like, it's a complicated situation.
And then like
we have to wait for the next leap year.
Yeah, and also with the tax evasion stuff, it kind of messed things up, pushed the timeline back. So yeah. Anyway, I'm Jaxon. Again, I go by Baboon online. Sometimes Jaxon Air 54. That was kind of my older username. I'm 23. I like working out. I like sports. I like hanging out with my friends. And I like video games. Video games are probably my main hobby. I like playing video games, mainly Nintendo video games, and I like collecting video games. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. If anyone else wanted to introduce themselves.
Bro gave out a whole.
Oh yeah, sure.
sheet,
so I'm Caden or Vermcad or whatever you want. I don't know. I don't really have a solid online reputation or anything, other than the occasional like just really horrific YouTube video that is not edited well and my friends don't even find funny.
That's cap and a half. That's cap and a half.
I do video games. I do tabletop games. I do nothing else.
It's true, I can confirm.
But I'm really good at what I do.
He likes making miniatures.
It's true, I do paint miniatures. I'd argue I'm good at that. I'd argue that's a skill.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably the best person I know at D&D named Caden. I know
there's 2.
Yeah.
There's 2.
Yeah.
The actual stray that my man caught there. I can't say his name.
Well, you might be the best Jaxon I know in the same topic.
Specifically with an X.
I am
also probably the best gamer Jaxon.
I am the greatest Jaxon in the world.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Oh, yep.
So anyways, the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out next week.
What about Caden?
Rob.
Rob.
what about Caden?
I'm jumping the gun.
You gotta do your introduction. Your introduction, Caden.
But he
can't skip over you.
I'm pretty sure I just finished it.
Yeah. You goofy.
Can't guess.
Shoot, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because I don't like talking about myself. Rob, online alias is been Brain of Soda for a very long time, known for starting long form videos and never finishing them, and then delisting them several years later. That's about it. The rest we'll get into.
Really funny when all the people we know watch this and it's just self-deprecation for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, by the way, if Soda has wronged you in the past, just know that I was not involved in that.
He's lying.
Oh my god.
He's lying.
That's crazy. So yeah. This is I kind of wanted to do this this week specifically because this is the final week forever that the Switch 2 is not out. Meaning the Switch 2...
I was eating cheesy bread this week.
Well, it could be that. The Switch 2 comes out next week. Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I'm pretty hyped. It'll be my first ever console launch that I'm getting the console on day one, and I'm like paying for it with my money, and like I'm an adult and I'll be there. It's kind of
could not be me.
Yeah,
I've played this game before. I've been here.
Yeah.
So has Rob.
Those guys.
Yeah, we done been here, bro.
We were in line for the Switch 1. I remember the vibes. I remember sitting in line as early in the AM as you can get. We were the first people in line. Didn't we show up at night, Rob? It was like 11 p.m.
Well, no, because when the pre-orders opened, it was in the morning. So we went in the morning, and then when the console launch happened, it was
a night
we went
still.
there at night.
You still had to go to the midnight launch to actually pick your stuff up, and I just
we went there.
Despite the fact that we already had a Switch pre-ordered, we made sure to be the first people in line. And I do remember how weird it felt to just kind of walk into the store, take a box, and leave.
Completely based.
I don't think
I remember, dude. My goofy thing was when we went to GameStop for this, and we went there the morning of, and they said, "Dude, this is gonna be my defining GameStop memory because they're gone now. They're dead forever."
Good.
Oh yeah, we got 2 Breath of the Wild Master Editions for pre-order, and we got those, and we get there, and they weren't the Master Editions, and I'm not gonna lie, even though it was just like a little sword, I was kind of disappointed, you know.
We absolutely got thrifted.
Yeah.
I do stand by the thought. You know, Jaxon brought it up a while ago, but some employees definitely yoinked those and wrote us down for deluxe editions, which, you know, it was still cool because I remember you got the coin, the map, you got all that cool little Breath of the Wild memorabilia. I remember playing Breath of the Wild into the early AMs that night because I completely called in sick for school the next day. And my dad was on board with that. I remember I was very honest with him. It was usually when I was like, "Oh, I'm sick," I'd fake it. But I knew very well that he would see through that if I did it. So I just straight up told him like a week before release, said, "Hey, Dad, can you call me in sick that Friday? I'm not gonna go to school." And he was fine with it. He was fine with it for that one occasion, and that's it.
Is this the second time they've dropped a Switch on a Thursday?
No, I think that one was on it's a Wednesday night that we have to go pick ours up.
Yeah.
Last time it was a Thursday night.
You have to go pick these up.
Because someone didn't pre-order from Best Buy.
Someone didn't have the money till next week.
I'm gonna be in line with Jaxon, getting my Switch 2, and I gotta be honest, it's gonna be a little disappointing to come home with that box and have no time to set it up because I work the next day.
Oh, the official release date was technically a Friday.
Yeah.
That's why I took the one day off school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my first death in Breath of the Wild was to bees because I was trying to get the beehive to make food, and I didn't think they'd be as persistent as they were.
But yeah, this will be I have that next day off, but I'm probably going to get the Switch, go home, record an unboxing of the stuff I have, and probably update the Switch, file transfer everything from my Switch 1 to my Switch 2, and then I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm going to wake up, and then I'm going to play it all day. And there's a chance I might try live streaming just the entire day.
I think my honest to God plan is to just get home with the box, put it on my desk, and kind of just stare longingly at it as I sleep.
And then realize that you're an adult with real life responsibilities.
Yeah, and then I have to get up and go work.
I'm here to throw a wrench in your plans. You can't live stream all day.
Why?
Because you have to bring me mine.
True, actually.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'll just sell that one on eBay.
Scalper.
Keep in mind, I have your GameCube controller hostage.
Speaking of which, do you think that's going to be a big deal for the Switch 2? I mean, I haven't thought about it much. But like
100%.
Scalping?
people who bought it and are
Yeah.
and who are just going to sell it for.
That's everything nowadays. Everything that someone wants, someone else is trying to scalp.
It's so funny actually. Like the concept of scalping is really funny to me because like most of the time it's only for a few months that it's really really bad unless it's like GPUs, in which case it's bad forever. But like with the Switch 2, surely, if you get one on launch, you're only going to be able to upsell it for so long before Nintendo announces that they're going to make more, and then the entire economy for your little thrifting business is screwed, right?
Yeah. That's generally how it goes for consoles. Same thing with PS5.
Like, surely a bunch of people just get screwed by that then, right? Like, not customers, but like the scammers get screwed because they can't get rid of it. I mean, nobody's going to buy. I would hope that nobody buys the Switch 2 for like $700.
There are probably already people on eBay who have paid $700-800 for it. I guarantee.
I am gonna check actually.
I want to create one of those eBay listings where it's a printed photograph of something.
Oh, no way!
Like $600.
Wait a minute. Oh, it's bad. I think. Somebody is selling the Nintendo Switch System V2, which is just a normal Nintendo Switch, and they're selling it for $200. And there's 26 watchers. The Nintendo Switch 2 console plus Mario Kart, $750. 12
we just
sold.
saw the same thing.
Oh my god!
I bet that guy seems like a good man.
Oh yeah, we're at like $700,
$800,
$679. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
And it just confirmed pre-sales. Like it just people the console's not even in their hands yet. And this guy's about to get screwed. Oh, I hope this guy gets screwed. Okay, well he can technically say no because how eBay works is when you start bids, if it doesn't get to what you want, you can always just cancel the bid, right?
Yeah.
This dude's doing a bid for a Switch 2 console confirmed pre-order, and there's 4 days left on the bid. 5 days technically. He has one bidder, and it's at $186.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. 99% of bids come in at the final hour. The first
what I'm saying is
the first 7 days don't matter.
Well, yeah. Well, my mom used to do eBay stuff when I was like an infant, when I was like 8 years old, because when I wanted Legos for Christmas, eBay was an easier and cheaper option. But I got very used to her talking about it and being like, I think we're going to get this at a discount. And then, oh, nope, we're actually not getting it because it went well beyond the price range in the last hour. But I kind of hope he gets burned, like I think it's a scummy practice. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. I feel bad for anybody that didn't get their pre-order through. Also, anybody who got theirs canceled. I panicked a little bit because I got an email from Best Buy telling me to confirm that, like, hey, make sure your payment information is correct or we might cancel your order.
I got that same
Lo and
email.
behold, yeah, I was at work, so I kind of panicked a bit, and then I actually read it, and it was just a tracking notification.
Yep.
Dude, just my luck. Jackson's gonna show up to grab my Switch, and they're gonna hand him a non-Mario Kart one.
That'd be really funny.
That
would be buns.
That would be a GameStop. That would be a GameStop moment.
Yep.
Just for context on a couple things, we all know each other in real life. We're not just virtual friends, and we all live somewhat close to each other. Obviously, not saying
I'm a figment of these people's imagination.
True. Also, as Caden was saying earlier, him and Rob were at the Switch 1 launch. That was obviously back in 2017. I did not meet these guys until 2020. So
yeah, another Switch memory is I met Jaxon on a Switch game before I met him in real life because
it's true.
What?
You didn't know that,
he knew someone
No,
I
I
knew.
didn't know that.
He knew of Connor, and Connor and I were gonna play Smash Bros. After I got done doing something at school, because I used to do volunteer work at school, and one night I got done with that, and I was on my way home to play, Super Smash Bros. With Connor. The game had came out like a few weeks prior, right? And he said, "Hey, are you fine? I already agreed to play with one of my neighbors. Would you be fine if he joined us?" And I did not care because, truth be told, I just wanted to play online. When I first played against Jaxon, I played Ridley and he played Iggy, and I was kind of beating him up a little bit because I played Ridley a lot. And then Connor was texting me being like, he's getting mad. And my first thought was, is Jaxon, keep in mind, I'm in high school at this point. Like, this is junior, senior year. I don't remember exactly, but I was in high school. I assumed in that moment that Jaxon was a middle schooler. I was like, am I beating up on like a child right now because he's getting mad?
I wasn't that bad.
No, well, I didn't. I had no context. And like they were close matches, sure, but I don't remember really losing, unless I did. Maybe I'm just misremembering.
No, you beat me every single time with Ridley.
And then
set the stage for all of our Smash matches to follow for years, by the way.
Yep.
And then later on, when COVID hit and we were all in lockdown, I played Among Us.
Hold on. You forgot the second half of that story. You switched off Ridley and started playing Snake. I don't know why. And then you were beating me as Snake, and I remember switching to Dark Pit and being able to like reflect your projectiles, and then I finally beat you for the first time. And I'm pretty sure I said to Connor, I'm like, message him being like, I finally got you.
No, okay, you know what's funny about that? I actually know why I switched to Snake. I didn't remember doing that, but now that you mention it, I'm almost positive I did it because at the time Snake was my secondary, and because I assumed that you were in middle school, I was like, okay, I'll give him a shot. I'll play a character that's fair.
Completely messed up.
Well, it's
and
like
to this day, by the way, to this day, he still plays Ridley, and he plays it like a bad person. I'll put it out there.
Yeah. I sit at the ledge and I wait for people to try and edge guard me, and then I grab them and spike them into the stage. The only person that understands my playstyle is Rob, because he plays Cloud, so he just camps me out with ranged projectiles, and he gets it. Jaxon is, I think it's not even fool me once, shame on like you, fool me twice, shame on me. He's been fooled like I think 32 times.
It's a stupid move. It's a stupid move.
It's a predictable.
You can't.
It's very predictable.
You can't like dodge through it or shield it or I don't know. It's a stupid move.
The point is, I think if we ever did like a Smash Bros tournament, he'd break a controller because I'd play even scummier. I have worse tactics.
And those controllers ain't cheap anymore. Those are like $85.
Nah, dude, they're expensive. I have enough pro controllers to last me probably till the day I die.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, now we play Smash Bros. Now. It's the same thing. It's always your Ridley versus my Iggy.
Yeah, well, it's like we play with friends and we go casual, we random. I pick Hero because let's be real, I'm not good at Hero. It's just random bullshit, and it's really fun, you know.
Yeah, and I pick Pyro and Mytha for the gameplay.
Yeah.
I love the
Aren't they like
gameplay?
Listen, I don't mean to be that guy, but aren't they the only character in the game with jiggle physics?
I mean, Jigglypuff is right
One
there.
One episode. That's how far we got.
Jigglypuff is right there.
Just saying, man.
I will say, on a real note, Xenoblade Chronicles is my favorite video game series. I played the first one way back when. It was my first ever like RPG and like larger story game, because before that I was a stupid little Nintendo kid, and so the game kind of blew my mind. I've been a fan ever since. I played Xenoblade 2 when it came out. I was so excited, right? I had my new Switch. The lineup of games, they were just knocking out banger after banger. December comes around, Xenoblade 2. So excited for the game. I start playing Xenoblade 2. I'm 3 chapters in. I hated the game. I did not like the game for the first 3 chapters, but then I just kept playing because I'm like, I was a poor high school student. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna not play the game. I'd kind of heard some people talk about stuff towards the end. I kept playing the game, and by the end, I was bawling my eyes out, and it's probably my favorite video game of all time. And even revisiting the first 3 chapters, it's like I get it now. I think the game is presented pretty poorly. The first 3 chapters, the controls are not told very well. The combat is not told very well. Anyway,
Actually,
this is
actually a fun thing. I'm sorry, I gotta derail this because I'm actually curious.
Hold on, before you derail, I just have to finish. That was all a really long way of saying that when Pyra and Mithra were revealed for Smash Bros, I screamed my head off. Anyway, continue.
Oh. What I was about to say is like, yeah, you cried at the end of Xenoblade 2, which is understandable. I mean, it is a good game, right?
Yeah.
What's the first video game that ever made you cry? That's a fair, if at all, because I can tell you mine confidently. It was definitely Red Dead Redemption 2.
Back in 2018?
Yeah, that messed me up. I remember it was like I'm in college, I do it, and I get to the thing that occurs, and
I gotta
don't know.
clarify. Are you talking about the end of the main game, or are you talking about the end of the epilogue?
The end of the main game.
Okay. Yep.
And I remember when that happened, I don't know why I don't know why I didn't expect it, but I didn't, because it was just a surprise, you know? I don't want to say too much because I do genuinely believe that, you know, for everything about that game that Jaxon might not enjoy, I think the story is the one thing that he would very much like about it.
Hee. Yeah, I have to play that eventually.
It's a good one. It's a very, very strong game. The whole game is very, very good.
Red Dead 2 left me with a feeling of emptiness when I finished it.
Oh my goodness.
And that's probably one of the highest praises I can give to a game, is when I feel empty when I finish it.
So
It made me want more, and then there was no more.
I think the first video game that made me cry might be Xenoblade 2. Because, like I said, I didn't really play any like crazy story games, right? I played Mario, Smash Bros, Mario Kart. You know, there's not really much in those games that are making you cry.
I don't know, when Yoshi fell down that pit, bro.
The
shit was just too much.
Yeah. The first Xenoblade, I don't really think is a sad game. I think it has like sad moments, but there's nothing that's gonna tear your heart out. So I think I finished that game, I'm like, oh yeah, this game's awesome. I'm trying to think if I ever played anything, but it might.
Oh no, I'm actually a stupid person. Minecraft made me cry, dude.
Okay, that's crazy.
Get your house griefed by your friends.
Okay,
that's crazy, dude.
We're like talking like any crying, because I've definitely
cried.
No,
I mean,
I've definitely cried tears of anger.
That was mostly a joke, but
I think actually
the first emotional cry game was Red Dead, but yeah, Minecraft obviously made me cry.
Yeah, I've got a couple answers. Obviously, I've played Smash Bros and it's made me so mad I've like teared up. Xenoblade 2 was probably the first game that made me cry, like emotionally, like devastated. And I think Breath of the Wild, like booting that up on my Switch for the first time and just seeing the game and like being like, this is real and I'm playing it. I think I did shed a tear because I'm like, this is like amazing.
I was just smiling the whole time with Breath of the Wild. I don't think I broke my smile until like 3 a.m. I was having so much fun.
That was a great game. And speaking of
Fantastic.
Which, like, you guys obviously you got your Switch on release day. I was in high school, like, didn't really have money. I was trying to work to get money.
And Rob, we worked at a pizza place, so we scavenged.
Loaded.
You got the suffering bucks.
We scavenged money, which every once in a while I think about that happened in that restaurant, and I have to ask myself how I put
Caden
up
got
with some
war
of it.
wounds, bro, running the chicken at that.
I got little tangent story, but Jackson, have I told you that I got bear trapped in a chicken, like a chicken, like boiling station? I don't know like what it's
No.
called. Like,
What?
so when you're cleaning chicken, you have to take like the oil cycling pan. There's like a pan at the bottom that the oil's filtered into and then filtered out of, and that gets really really messy.
Yeah.
And to clean it, there's like this lift tray that you have to pull out. Like it has a handle in the middle. You lift it out, and then you put it down, pull out the filter. Like it's all that process, right? Well, I'm back in the dish area doing it, and Max will confirm that this story actually happened. Right? He saw it. And I pull the tray out, and I'm holding it wrong. And as I'm holding it, the tray, it's like the okay, so I guess it's like a rectangle with a handle on top. There's no bottom, it's just in there to hold down the filter. I lift it out and it gets caught on something, flips up. I'm still holding the handle, and it hits my arm and pins my arm to the oil tray,
Oh.
which is scalding hot.
Oh my gosh.
And I try to pull my arm out, but I'm holding the grip and it's stuck. So my arm is just bear trapped, like against this hot, like oil slick, boiling hot metal. And I just start yelling at Max to help me. and he doesn't know what to do. And eventually, you know, it's like the monkey with his hand in the nut trap. I let go and pull my hand out, and there's just like a line on both sides of my arm, like an oil burn. And we just applied the first aid burn cream. We didn't tell anybody. And I just went back to working
What
again.
the heck? Dude, you're telling me you could have sued them and you'd be rich right now?
That was not a lawsuit. If I had to go to the doctor, I would have had workman's comp. But I saw worse things. I mean, I guess content warning for mild mentions of gore. But I watched someone like dice their hand by accident.
Oh,
Like,
that's nice.
I won't describe it. All I'll say is that I was working dish that day with Max, and we had to clean it.
Oh,
That was crazy.
so there
They
was,
didn't like go through the hand. They just kind of cut into it. And it was
so there was red
still
around.
gnarly. Yeah, there was ketchup.
Nice. Yeah, that dirty
Bro, we
ketchup.
ain't going on TikTok. You can say that he bled everywhere.
Yeah, he died.
No, he was fine actually. He didn't lose
$200
any.
$200
No fingers
paychecks, by the way.
lost. No fingers lost. No nothing. I just remember he was dicing like onions, and then he was doing it very fast, and he didn't notice that he hadn't quite cleared his hand. And he got workman's comp for that. And we all got a little trauma, you know. And what high school job isn't without its faults? I mean, we were working very hard for that. Like, what was it at the time, Rob? Like
$200
14
paychecks. $200
$14.
paychecks.
Oh my
14 bucks
gosh.
an hour?
It was no, it was not $14.
Yeah,
Was it
No,
12?
it wasn't
How much was it
anywhere.
at the
probably
time?
less.
It was like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say, when
no,
I
it was not
worked-
nine.
It was at most double digits.
When
Like it was
Let me
not.
look this up.
when I
Hold
worked
on.
in high school at a fast food restaurant, I started at $9.50, and after 4 years, I made my way up to $11.50.
It was $11.20, Rob. I looked up how much in our state the minimum wage was back then.
No way, I got paid
That's
less than
cap.
minimum.
I feel like it was $7.25.
That's 2015. That's what it was.
No way. I swear I was getting paid $9.50.
To be fair, we might have been getting
Um,
paid less because restaurant business, and there's some Tom
Tomfoolery.
Dickory, yeah. You
Oh
know, that
man,
goes on
you
there.
you got $3 of tips, which means we don't
It
have
was
to pay you.
$8.50 an hour. Where did you get $11.50 from?
Google AI.
Oh my gosh,
Okay, but
that's crazy.
it's not that far off. The point is, we had to scrounge multiple paychecks for the Switch, and when we actually got our hands on it, it wasn't disappointing. I do remember watching the Cat video and being really confused because I had zero problems with mine.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
so
I didn't even
worried.
have Joy-Con drift until like now.
I
No,
was so
I
worried
got-
that my Switch would be one of the like bad ones when I got it.
I think that was just completely blown out of proportion. Like, I might get burned for saying that, but I
Yeah, we're
remember
gonna jinx it now. All of our Switch teams are gonna be
every
utter dog shit.
every person I knew that owned a Switch at the time had zero issues with the Switch. There were multiple people who bought it, and no one had problems. I never met somebody at school who had problems. Like, there were others who had bought it in our grade, and I
Yeah.
knew of them, and I never heard complaints. And then that video dropped, and I just remember being like, was this widespread? Like, was the Switch launch bad?
I think
And
it
I
was like
don't think it,
it was like 10 or less cases that just got blown up out of proportion.
which I feel like happens with every console
Yeah.
release. And it is, pardon my slander, Rob. It is the PC Master Race people I feel that like really blow it up with consoles because there's some spite there, or there was, because exclusives annoy the out of those people.
Oh, we didn't have to wait long to play those exclusives, buddy.
Oh, are you gonna?
Breath of the Wild launched on the Wii U. They weren't caring about the Switch.
Yeah, that's a different issue altogether.
Yeah, we were. Don't worry about that. We were people who didn't buy the Switch but wanted to play Breath of the Wild. They were not worried about that.
And then I continued to this. I don't know. The Switch also destroyed my nights on occasion. Like I remember when Tears of the Kingdom released, it was during finals week, and I definitely was not responsible in the slightest. It was like at the end of finals week. I was just so excited for it to come out that I didn't really do much studying.
Yeah, I got all my homework and everything done early so that I could just play it when I got it. Cause I got it about a month after launch because it was super hard to get right away. And I mean, yeah, that was the earliest I was able to get it. It was about a month. But yeah, I got everything done for the week. Got it on a Thursday. And I think like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was just playing Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, I was playing that game constantly for a long time. I think I ended up racking like 250 hours or so in that. And that's not including the time of the game that was spent not the intended Nintendo way.
Hmm.
So, I mean, considering that, you're probably looking at like 300 hours spent in a single player game, which is impressive. The games I've played the most and put the most time in that are single player to this day, it is still Dark Souls 3, and I don't know how I did that. I just did.
Because Dark Souls 3 was good.
Yeah, but I check my hours and I'm like
Banger.
1,048 hours in Dark Souls 3. Is crazy. And then behind that is like Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild. Those are like the two games that I've played the most after that.
Yeah, I think like I have a couple obvious ones. Like Minecraft probably. And then like
Minecraft, I actually don't think I've spent near as much time in Minecraft as I want to believe I did. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think
Like,
for
there's no
me,
way I can know, but
yeah, because it doesn't keep track.
I actually think I may have spent more time in like Dota 2 than I did in Minecraft and League of Legends probably as well.
Yeah. I've been playing Minecraft since 2013. A lot of Pocket Edition. Then I got it on PC in 2013. I'd say it's probably Minecraft, and then like I've played so much Rocket League, and then I think like Xenoblade 2 I've put like 460 hours in. I think Breath of the Wild I'm at around 200. A lot of those big RPGs I've put multiple hundreds of hours because there's so much to do in them.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now, if you look at my Steam profile, the game I've played the most right now is either Dead by Daylight or CS2, which is terrible.
Dead by Daylight is a good game. It's got problems, but it's a good game.
Freddy Five Bear, the Springtrap killer is hype.
I still think it is cool, but I think it's not the best. In my opinion, the best update that Dead by Daylight did was the Resident Evil chapter, and that chapter had a lot of problems. It was buggy as hell on release. Like the servers were completely screwed when Nemesis came out, but that got all of us back into the game for like 6 months.
Yeah, definitely one of those games that we just go in and out of in phases.
Which I think we're entering a phase again here because the anniversary's coming up, and every time the anniversary comes up, we pick it up for like 3 weeks.
Yep.
I have 700 hours, 763 hours in Dead by Daylight, and that's a game that I was hesitant to buy because at the time I was very afraid of horror games.
I have over 100 hours, and I'm still terrible at the game, and I run the same 4 perks. Bringing a
I'm scrolling through my Steam library to figure out what my highest playtime games are.
bringing it back a little bit, just because, like I said, we're kind of talking about, final week of the Switch. Just kind of going over a couple of Switch memories. Obviously, we talked about launch. You guys have any other notable games, from the Switch era? I'll start off with one of my stories. Well, you guys maybe think of one, but this would have been end of September, going into October. Super Mario Odyssey was coming out in a couple weeks. I was super excited for it. I was so excited for it because, like, my favorite game of all time at the time was Mario Galaxy 2. And this was like my first 3D Mario that I've had played since then. Trailers looked awesome, Cappy, blah, 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 blah. It gets to the day before the game comes out. I'm like shaking, so excited to play it. And I got grounded. And I
Wow.
was not able to play it for the first week of it coming out. And it was the most miserable week of my life. And eventually, don't tell my parents, I snuck it into my bed and I just started playing it without them knowing because it was a portable system. And I eventually
naughty.
I played it for like 2 weeks when I wasn't supposed to. I basically beat the entire game before I was ungrounded.
I remember when I first moved into the college house, like when I got done living in the dorms and we actually got our place, I was the first person to move up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because we weren't going to have internet at that house right away, because nobody wanted to pay for it until like people got up, I needed something to do badly. And I remember before I left, I knew that was going to be a thing, so I was thinking about what games to get, and I bought 3 houses. And I bought 3 houses mostly on a whim. I remember you saying good things about it, but I mostly bought it because I remember playing Fire Emblem 8, like the old 8-bit ones, and having a good time with them. And I remember enjoying Fates enough to give it a shot. And I remember playing that game and just thinking, wow, this is funny. Because I was playing it and I actually thought it was kind of comedic. I was like, this story's really generic, right? It's really, really lame. Like, oh, the Flame Emperor. And then the twist happened. And I'm not gonna say it just in case someone finds this cast and hasn't actually played the game. But the moment that twist happened, I kind of locked in. I was like, wait a minute, this is peak. This is actually really good writing. And then I played the entire game like 3 times to get each path. And then everyone moved into the house and the internet was on. And I kept playing it even though we had internet. I could have done other things. I could have gone up and played. I think at the time that would have. What game was it at the time? It was not League, but I could have been playing whatever multiplayer game was the craze. Probably Dead by Daylight, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then Max was like watching me play it, and he was like, "What are you playing?" I was like, 3 houses. He's like, "This looks generic," and I'm like, "You should play it." And then he had the identical reaction to me, like making fun of the first like 4 or 5 the first like bit of the game, and then it just like does its thing, and then you're hooked. And I think that that was a very funny memory for me because I just remember completely underestimating that game, having fun with it because the gameplay was fun, but thinking the story was like very generic, and then getting caught completely off guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Three Houses is great. I've played when I was playing it. I think I played 6 routes in a row, and 2 of the routes I beat in a day, like a day each.
I started with Blue Lions, and I did it because Dimitri had a spear, and I thought that spears were the coolest ever.
I started Edelgard, then Dimitri, then Claude.
I did Claude second, and then I did. I actually never did Edelgard's route. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did every route but hers.
You're a monster.
Well, it's because Max did hers, so I got to watch him play the game on her route, and
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I guess that's my other Switch memories. It's like, God, what a good game console. Like in terms of the games it had, there were so many good games.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried that the Switch 2's not going to live up to that. Like,
Well, I mean,
I'm excited.
year
Don't get me wrong,
one,
I'm excited.
year one, we've got some bangers incoming.
Like Prime 4, I'm so
Yes.
excited for Prime 4. But like beyond that, like the Switch 1 just felt stronger on launch.
Yeah, I
in
think
my opinion.
Switch 1, year 1, might be one of the best year ones for a console that I can think of. I mean, you had
Like
pretty much a big title coming out every month and a half, and it was just that for the first year.
the big launch titles for the Switch, that I remember was obviously Breath of the Wild. I remember Odyssey released like right after launch. It was like a few months.
Yeah. So Switch came out in March. Breath of the Wild came out in March. Odyssey came out in October. I remember, like Mario Rabbids came out in August.
Smash Bros. Ultimate was a launch title, was it not, or was it close to launch?
Ultimate came out December of 2018, so a whole year
I
and a
remember.
half.
I remember it being like an instant. Gosh, I must be misremembering.
We're being pretty close.
It's getting to your old age. No. Yeah, because all we knew is that Smash Bros. Was coming to the Switch, and then June of 2018 was the big Smash Bros. Everyone is here direct, and then
I
it came
think
out in December.
Another memory that Rob probably kind of shares is watching the Smash Bros. Or like Nintendo's like launch stream that they did. Or it was like the night that they announced the Switch pre-orders, they did like a stream, and Rob was telling me how he can't. I think he said he canceled the Switch pre-order.
No, so this was it was more about my Smash Bros. One.
Yeah, you canceled
it
your
was
Smash.
I was I was just thinking, no, I don't think I'm gonna get Smash because there's not a character I want to play, and literally that night at the Game Awards they announced Joker, and I'm like, fine, you got me, you bastards.
No, it's so good too.
I literally opened up my Switch and placed a pre-order on the eShop that moment.
It's crazy.
So I love
when I had heard about that, because obviously they were like Smash Pass 1, 5 characters, and everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be 5 Nintendo characters. Maybe they'll do like Shadow the Hedgehog, if they're feeling crazy. But I remember,
and every one of them was insane.
Yeah, I remember the front runner prediction for Smash Pass 1 was Waddle Dee. And then
I remember Waluigi as well.
Yeah,
and then it was like,
it wasn't.
What
it
even was?
It was just Nintendo stuff. And then I remember, because I wasn't able to watch the live stream of the Game Awards, but I remember seeing Jokers in Smash Bros.
It was Joker, Hero, Terry Bogard, and Byleth, which is an insane like DLC lineup for the first pass.
But I'd heard Joker was in Smash Bros. And I'm like, why did they add the Batman villain? And I was so confused. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, who's this guy? I had never heard of Joker.
And then the second Smash Pass with like Min Min, Steve, Sephiroth, Pyramithra, Kazuga and Sora, which it's just insane. Like that they get these characters.
Those
And
Smash
I
Passes
do.
were awesome. And the crazy part is that even if you didn't like whoever the current one was, you still had the next character.
Yeah, and they were always until Sora, and Sora was very like a lot of people were excited and a lot of people were not excited.
Apparently, it was the ballot winner from the Smash 4 ballot.
Which I find insane because I thought that the characters that made it into the base game were top runners on the ballot. Like Ridley. Ridley only got added because he was in the top 10 on the ballot.
Yeah, and I think like Bayonetta, same thing, was top 5 probably, and she was the last character in Smash 4.
Which I wish I had a fun reaction to Ridley. I wish I could tell you that I got up and started screaming. Rob was in the call with me. I'm pretty sure all I did is I went, finally. I can't I wasn't even like right. I wasn't even that happy because to me it just made sense. I was like, thank God.
Well, I remember when I was watching that trailer, I remember some of the leaks at the time, they actually predicted a couple characters right. I remember I think the front runners for the leak were Isabelle, Incineroar, and Simon Belmont. And so I was watching the trailer and I was seeing like them getting stabbed. And instead of going, oh my gosh, Ridley's finally here, because the whole trailer is like focused on Samus, I went, oh hey, it's Simon Belmont. And then Ridley jumps in and I went, oh my gosh.
No, okay. Actual funny thing about that, I knew who it was the moment the screen showed the setting. Like the moment it revealed and it was like a narrow bridge, a big like sci-fi like tube, and Samus walking on a bridge, I was like, it's Ridley.
Yeah.
It's him. And then when Mario got sideswept, I was like, it's Ridley. It's him.
I don't know why I thought it was Simon Belmont. I'm like,
no, and I do remember the Grinch leak too. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I thought that was real.
Yeah. Oh man, Smash Bros leaks. Those are good times. It's unfortunate that it's right now, you know, we don't have anything, but Sakurai was making Kirby Air Riders.
Which I am excited for that. I get to introduce that game to you guys, which, like, because I don't think any of you played the first Kirby Air Ride.
Nope.
I played that. That was my, like, one of my childhood games. I played that game a lot. So I do look forward to buying that and just bringing it to, like, you know, a party or a gathering and just saying, let's play Kirby Air Ride.
That'll be hype. 2 racing games in 1 year seems crazy, but
it's risky.
They're gonna be. I think Kirby be so different.
I have a feeling Kirby Air Ride's not gonna sell as well, but I also think I have been waiting for it. Like, it's not a game I'm excited for. Like, because you, I mean, come on. Like, I'm not gonna lose my shit over it. But it is. I played the Kirby Air Ride games all the time when I was a kid. All the time. It was like I played it more than Mario Kart, right? But no one knew what it was, and for a long time it was just kind of my game. Like the game that I played and nobody else played as a kid, which I have a lot of games like that because when I was a kid any game was fun.
True.
Like we could go over game like I played like a game about a cricket that just jumped around. I don't even remember what that game was called.
I think the first game I ever played that I was like, this is not fun, was Chibi Robo Ziplash.
I played Zapper One Wicked Cricket for the GameCube. It has a 5.5 out of 10 according to IGN. That's and apparently awesome. I can get it on Steam if I wanted to. It has 52 reviews and it was released in 2024.
The time is now.
True.
The time that
when's the YouTube video?
Dude, if I play it again.
The YouTube video, we need it.
But no, yeah, I'm excited for the Switch 2. I'm excited to get it, and I'm excited to play more games on it. But also, I'm just I don't know. I'm happy. I hope my console's not bricked on launch. You know.
Agreed. I'm excited. My wallet is not.
So true.
And I'm super like, I like collecting Nintendo games, like I said earlier. So I have pretty much every single first party physically released Switch game. I think there's like 130 right now, and I'm missing 4. So I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna like do that with the Switch 2. Buy every first party game. Probably not. We'll see. But I'm very excited. Mario Kart, Prime 4. I'm even Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm excited for that one. But Rob, do you have any other good memories from the Switch 1 era? Like a game you played or funny moment or
This is where I out myself as having played on the PS Vita way more. I didn't like played Smash. We played Splatoon 2 quite a bit. But other than that, I mean, Switch games I played Catherine Full Body, and most of the other Switch games I've played I didn't play on my Switch. So
yeah. The Splatoon 3 incident.
yeah, I spend full price on Splatoon 3 and never play it. So,
Oopsies. That's we blame that one on Carter.
Splatoon 4 comes out, I am not buying or downloading that game until you guys are on the game this time. It's not happening.
Dude, Splatoon 4 is gonna be so sweaty because now they're gonna have mouse mode with the Joy-Cons.
When I see you guys forming a party in the lobby, that's when I'll buy.
Hey, when
I'll buy.
Not I'll be
moment
there.
before.
I'll be there. Now Carter, we don't count on him. Caden, it's a 50-50.
If I get the game, you'll just be pissed off because I'll use the umbrella.
Yeah, you like to use the cheapest, most crap strategies in every video game.
You just get mad because I play defensively, and it pisses you off.
Paint roller best weapon.
Paint roller is fun. That's that's another game. I played so many hours by myself because I didn't like have any other friends besides Connor and Carter. I'm like, I wish I would have known you guys for that era because Splatoon 2 with the boys sounds hype.
The first Splatfest game, ketchup versus mayo, bro.
Oh,
That was
dude,
that was a beautiful thing, by the way.
And your dad walks down and looks at our party and goes, "Why are you guys playing with dickhead?" Oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
such a crazy first thing to do.
Yeah, that was a banger. I like that. That was a good time. But yeah, no, I mean when the Switch 2 comes out, I'm basically just going to get into online Smash with working Joy-Cons. So,
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be hype. We actually have like multiple. We have us 3 and multiple of our friends getting it, which means that like big releases that come out, it might not just be like 2 of us playing. Like when Metroid 4 comes out, I mean I don't know how many people are gonna play it, but I mean it'll be hype.
Dude,
I don't think that's going to be as big of one because it's a 4 and like not a lot of us have played Metroid. Like I haven't played.
I don't think you need to.
Metroid.
I think Max is close to trying a Metroid game.
I mean, didn't Max play Dread?
Nope.
Really?
He
I thought
kind
he
of
did.
wanted to, but he never did.
I
I
mean,
think he'd like Dread. He likes Metroidvania, so I think
Yeah.
he'd like Dread. But
What I mean now is, I mean, people have the console. I think, like, I can't be like, hey, you should play Fire Emblem when someone doesn't have a Switch because it's like the buy-in is so much. Whereas now you guys have a Switch, and if I suggest a game and it looks fun, you guys might pick it up, and it's fun like when your friends play and enjoy the same games you do.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, I mean, we know that there's these Switch 2 editions of games. I feel like Smash Bros Ultimate Edition, I feel like it's inevitable. Smash Pass 3.
I would. I'd buy it.
Yeah. But right now we've got Mario Kart. We have a Mario Kart tournament planned for the week after the game comes out, so that's going to be hype. So probably by the time of the next podcast, we'll have stories from that. We'll probably have some stories from the midnight launch / day one. We'll see if anyone's Switch is bricked on release.
I remember the Switch launch when I got pistol whipped by a scalper and he stole my console.
When we got jumped in the streets. But I went all in on pre-orders for this console. I got game, I got controllers, I got carrying case, I got all the amiibo. I'm so excited.
As am I.
But in the meantime, a silly little game just came out yesterday, actually, and we got the chance to play it a little bit. Elden Ring Night Rain. It is a multiplayer only. Well, not necessarily, but mainly a multiplayer Elden Ring game. It's like
I've seen. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. I have a comment about that.
Yeah, it's like it's a spin-off almost. It's not really part of the main Elden Ring lore from what I can tell. But it's pretty crazy.
The game has been out for like a day and people are already aura farming. And that's not a joke. Like there's a clip I saw today while I was at work where it's like this dude's team was wiped and he was Wilder and he used his ult as the boss jumped at him. And it like one shot the boss as his team was dead and he was on like no health.
That is
and you're like that's hype. That's awesome. Everyone in the comments was flaming him for not rezzing his team. It was really funny.
I will say I've heard some very split opinions on this game, but I think if you are playing and you have two friends that play the game and you can get into a call and play each other, it is so fun.
I bet it's even fun with one friend. I thought about that. I thought that the game literally could not be played if you had two people. I thought that you had to have either 3 or 1. And if you tried to play with 2, it just wouldn't let you queue. The fact that you can queue with one Randy does not kill the game. I think I'd still have fun if it was just like me and Jaxon or me and Rob and one random dude. Because that one dude, you can almost make a story about him like while you're playing with them. You know what I mean? Like
you could have John Elden Ring, or you could have just a 3-year-old.
Or like a guy who you never see. Like he just disappears for the whole game, but then shows up in the ring and just does okay. It's like he's not crazy, but like he just was never with you ever.
Yeah. But it is complete chaos. We haven't even beat the first like main boss. We've gotten to night 3, but we haven't beat the boss yet. But it is just 30 minutes of chaos, screaming, like clawing your way up just to get team wiped by the boss.
Also, haven't been mad about like a failure once. Like
me neither.
You know, you'd think you'd be like, I hate this game, man. Our runs are screwed. But like I turned a corner and got hit by a fireball and died immediately. And all I said is, come on. I didn't even get mad. I was just like, are you serious?
It's the typical Souls-like BS.
But yeah, no, I'm super stoked to play that. Actually, super stoked to play that more tonight as well.
Yes, I am too. It's way more fun than I thought it would be. When I watched the reveal trailer, I'm like, oh my gosh, another Elden Ring. And then they're like, yeah, it's like Elden Ring Fortnite. The storm moves in and you just like fight a boss every night. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, I love Elden Ring. I loved Shadow of the Erd Tree, but this is
It's
weird.
different.
But I mean, yeah, it's pretty fun. We'll probably play it for a while, but also the Switch 2 release might overshadow it a little bit.
We're gonna probably end up beating the 8 core bosses, and then I imagine after that the replayability will slowly kind of like I'm sure people will still do runs and like do stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
But I feel like once the 8 bosses are beat, some people are gonna fall off.
for sure.
I could see like Matt. Matt will play. Matt had a lot of fun. Matt will probably play this game for a while. But
Yeah, Matt's a very multiplayer gamer. He doesn't really do much single player stuff.
he did beat Elden Ring though. He played and beat Elden Ring. He
That is
is an
true.
Elden Ring gamer.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I'm sure one of these times we're gonna have some Elden Ring stories. Not
Oh,
this time
yes.
though.
We should, yeah. When there's another Souls game, inevitably, which Duskbloods is also multiplayer, so I'm interested to see how that goes.
That's
Releasing
true. We didn't even bring that up with the Switch 2 stuff. That will be a Switch exclusive for the meantime from Soft Game. And
yes,
that's
and
pretty hype.
it is another all multiplayer. Apparently, it's similar to Tarkov, which I have no idea what Tarkov is like.
All I know is that everyone who plays Tarkov hates Tarkov.
Yeah, I have heard similar things, but who knows? You know, we're all gonna have Switches. Maybe we give it a shot. Maybe we see if it was fun. But yeah.
Yep.
Rob, did you die?
No, I don't have any input.
No input.
I didn't really like Elden Ring, and I haven't played Night Rain, so I have no input.
That's true.
That'll change tonight.
It will not unless it's after 11.
Why, what's at 11?
Yeah, no.
11's when John and I are going to be done doing some D2 runs.
I see.
That's
Alright.
Mhm.
Well, we're right at an hour. I'd like to wrap
And
it
you
up.
thought we wouldn't make it here.
Yeah, I did, but then we just kept talking, you know? But I don't
Yeah.
want to keep talking because obviously I'd like to save stories for other times. But before we go, again, we're not a Nintendo podcast, right? It's just the Switch 2's coming out. We're all excited for it. We're not really an anything podcast right now. We just talk about the stuff we like, and we're all gamers. So a lot of the
so
time,
there'll probably be a lot of games.
yeah, but there might be a day where, you know, Caden's talking about D&D, or we're talking about work or something, or you never know. We're not anything specific. But for the end of this podcast, I do want to know just what were your top 3 Switch games? And what is the one game you are probably most excited for on the Switch 2? It doesn't have to be a game that's announced. It could be what you're hoping for. So,
Yep, this is
I'll start off.
I can
think
actually
number 3.
Yeah.
I mean, Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, it's just a crazy. I mean, it's insane. They got every fighter back. The game's just fun, right? It's fast paced. Smash Bros. With the boys is awesome. I have a pretty basic list. My number 2 pick is Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's a magical game. If you've never played Breath of the Wild, you need to play Breath of the Wild. Even if you don't like open world games, that is an open world game that I think a lot of people would still enjoy. And my number 1 pick, like I said, favorite game of all time, Xenoblade 2 with the DLC. Like I said, that's just it's a very close, like, a very personal pick. It is not the best game out of these 3, but it is my personal favorite for a lot of different reasons. And the one game I think I'm most excited to play on the Switch 2 is probably, as of right now, either Metroid Prime 4 or Hollow Knight Silksong.
yes. I will say that my number 1 favorite game for the Switch 2 is definitely kind of a cheap pick, but I'm comboing it, right? Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Like those two games as a package deal are both very, very good. And it was like the reason I bought the console was Breath of the Wild, right? 2 is Smash Ultimate, of course, and 3 is the surprise banger that was Three Houses.
Nice. And what's the thing you're most excited
Anticipation?
for? Yeah.
Prime 4 and the inevitability, absolute inevitability of another main 3D Zelda game being released on that console.
What do you mean? We already have one.
Yes.
Age of
That is
Imprisonment.
that is not a fish. That is not.
It's a 3D Zelda.
That is not the typical Zelda. That is a Warriors game.
Oh,
But-
so you're a Zelda purist.
Yeah, sure. That's what we'll go with.
Muso Cancer Reds.
What about you, Rob?
I guess I'll finish it off by having a very unoriginal list of Smash Three Houses and Breath of the Wild.
I swear, guys,
blame ya.
I swear, guys, we are very diverse. We all play
Listen,
very.
man,
We all like.
90% of these games I played on Steam, bro. And as for shit I want, you give me more Smash Fighters.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Yes.
Give me more Smash Fighters. Give me more Kodaka games because 100 Line has been a banger so far. Love that game. So
And don't forget, Fortnite is coming to the Switch too. Day one
I
title.
can't wait to play that on PC.
Well, anyway, like I said, we don't have a name for our podcast yet. You know, by the time this goes up, we might. By the time of next episode, we might. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, thank you for listening, watching, probably listening. But this has been episode 1, and hopefully, assuming everything goes well, we'll be back in probably a month for episode 2.
Also, if you somehow manage to find this in the depths of the algorithm, you're legitimately, and you made it this far, honestly, you're probably like a very, very unique individual.
Very, very bored at work.
Very, very bored at work.
Very true.
But if you did make it this far and you're getting this secret message, maybe come back for more. You know, I'm sure we'd love to have you.
Yeah, if you guys could watch and make us millionaires, it would make our lives a little bit easier. Any last words, Rob?
No, I am good. I have said my piece.
Sweet.
Any last words is a crazy closing line.
This is a threat.